Hello everyone, welcome to McFizzle's Hardcore Survival World Season 5 Between the Streams 12 and 13. And here I am, I've started my storage room finally. I thought I'd started it a bit, I must have started it during the stream. I thought I'd started it during these between the streams, but I must have started it at the end of the last episode, episode 12 of McFizzle's Hardcore Survival World. So, yeah, I'd say that takes up most of these between the streams. So you can see I've been doing a lot more farming and tree stuff with bone meal since I've got so much of it, and then I don't really have to worry so much about it growing. But yeah, I'm still leveling up my villages, and I'm still getting XP sort of in between. You know, I sort of have a cycle of 3 things. So in these episodes, it'll be like storage room and cows, villager leveling, and XP grinding, so I can get yeah, better weapons and stuff. But I think I'm going to have to start trying to get gear for the Ender Dragon, so that'll set me up, because I'm starting to get everything is sort of starting to get done. Like I've got my grass platform in the middle. I've got my sort of raised sort of platform around the outside. I've got my storage rooms setting up. I've got my villager farm. I just need to move a couple of things off the grass, and then I'm set. So yeah, most of this episode is just sorting out the villager, all the stuff, which takes a while. I often wondered how to get a better setup for my storage. Oh, I got an achievement. Music to my ears. Trophy earned. I'm not sure how I got that one. I must have... I thought you got it for playing a music disc, but I don't know. I've got it for putting it in a item frame for some reason. So maybe it was just the act of putting it in something that set it off. I don't know, but I'll take it. Trying to just organize the storage room so everything was in the right place. It's just messes with my head too much, so I just ended up putting things. As soon as I grab it out of the mix bag, I just whatever was next, that's where I would put things. I tried to have things that I use a lot in easy to get to places, but I figured I could always move things around later. But yeah, it's 5 blocks high, 5 chests high, and it's going to go all the way around the skeleton spawner. So, well, most of the way around, because that is actually part of the storage, but it's just where I store all the cobble. So yeah, it takes a little while getting through all of this stuff. It took a lot longer than I expected, actually. Because yeah, I made the mistake of breaking a chest, and that's what sort of stops the whole process. So yeah, I've been focusing really on getting that storage stuff done. And it's so good having it now, but now it's like, what do I do? I've got it took so long to get it done, I didn't know what to do next. So I think I've decided that's what I'll do, is the dragon equipment. So I'm going to have to make its own chest for that. And yeah, the I don't know if you'll see it here, if it's in this episode. I had some trouble with one of the villagers not spawning. Like, I had him next to he was sleeping next to two um, lecterns, and he still turned into a farmer. So I don't know. So I'd made a name tag for him and everything. So I had to put in some more. So now I've got three librarians and 4 farmers. So yeah, these ones are just lots of organizing. Like, I tried to grab things that I had heaps of, like there's obsidian, and moving all of those items around first. Dirt, armor. And it's just the little things I had left over. It's pretty much a double chest for everything. But there's a couple of single items, single chests, so I try and put things I don't get many of, like, records or... And there's, I'm going to be making a potion room, so like the potions and stuff, all those things are going to be moved eventually. And like, I'm thinking of having over near the villager farm, like another sort of storage area for just things that I trade with the villagers, so I don't have to have all of that. I don't have to go back and forth to get all that stuff in. And but I haven't started doing that yet. I was thinking of having it I was going to have a sort of a staircase up into like the second floor of the villager area, but I haven't had to do that yet, so I might just make the staircase and put the storage underneath the staircase. But we'll see. I don't think we'll need a ton of stuff over there because I'm using it up all the time. I've still got a bunch of other things I want to get done over there, like I want more wheat over there. I want watermelons. I'm probably going to need the sugarcane farm over there. So I don't know. So yeah, because this storage room is really big, I'm moving across a couple of sections of the wood. So this is the jungle section. I'm digging up it's like 5 blocks up. I don't know what I'm going to do with the roof there. Probably going to have to put something across the top. Yeah, not sure. Because yeah, there's big open sort of caverns and stuff up above me. I don't want things falling on my head. But I also don't want to dig out the whole space. I just want to do a little bit at a time. So I might... I've thought about doing like a fake sky over the top of the whole place, but I'm not sure whether to make it out of concrete or make it out of wool. I think concrete is probably safer because it's not going to burn, and there's no real gaps in the blocks, between the blocks, no lines. So But that means I'm going to need a lot more sand and a lot more gravel, and I've got to get lots of blue dye. So and I'm not sure how high the roof is, if I need to make the roof go up a bit higher. Because, yeah, I'm just not sure yet. But I'm happy with the storage system, storage area. Yeah, surprising how much the pumpkins are growing like gangbusters. They're going awesome. Don't need to use any bone meal with them at all. Tend to use the bone meal on the wheat mostly. So I think that's me putting down the bed for the new guy to be bred in. All my farmers are maxed. And I've started doing getting the power bows and combining them to get higher level. So I've got a couple of level 4 power bows now. So we're slowly getting through these chests. I think we've got about 4 left. Transferring them over. I think the armor chests, I think I'm getting to the point where I need the bows, a bow chest and a bones chest. So there's the bones, and the bow is going to go above that. So that was, for me, that felt like that was when I was really getting close to finishing the storage area. Okay, cruising along. That's the other thing I need to make, is a water elevator. That would be a really good thing to have. To get up to the surface. And I've had an idea of what to do with the village up the top. I follow this guy on Instagram called, I think his name's McFizzle's, and he makes a lot of really cool Minecraft designs. I'll just check that that's what his name is. But I was going to try and do all of his designs in my world, but the first one was actually buildings, and I was like, well, I don't really need any buildings because I've got so many. Yeah, Vexelville, Vexelville. He's got all these buildings, and I was like, I don't really need any buildings. And then I thought, well, why don't I add the buildings up the top, so it's like I've got my own little, you know, city. You know, I'm not going to live there, but I can just make it so it looks cool whenever I go up to the surface, and maybe have the water elevator in the middle of one of the buildings, and so I can knock the village down. But the problem will be, I think the pillagers spawn in wherever there's doors. That's my theory at the moment, as you'll see later in this video. So I've hardly had any pillager activity since I trapped that one in the ground. I've had like the odd pillager turn up, but never one of the ones with the the banners, which are the ones that kick off the raid. So you see here I've emptied all of the chests out of there, and I've put some torches up to sort of go, well, that's where the door is. And then I actually thought to myself, why don't I just put a door on there, so I don't have to worry about it. I can see where the door is. Anyway, not long after I've put the door there, I think it's even at the start of this next video, you'll see that pillagers appear. And not just one of the crossbow guys, but the 3-pack of the 2 crossbow guys and the banner guy, which was, I sort of was like, well, that's annoying, because now I've got all of these, I've got to knock down all these beds. But I suppose I could make all of the buildings but just not have doors. I could just have gates. Everybody has a gate. And this has happened a few times too, where the pillagers have come in and I've gone, oh, I better get rid of all these beds, so then I can just kill the pillagers. But as soon as I get rid of the beds, the pillagers disappear. So I know there's, beds and doors is something that creates the spawning. Is it here? It must be the next time when I think it's when I'm doing the jungle wood or the birch that the pillagers turn up. Yeah, it's a bit, I really don't like the pillagers. It just seems, I don't know. We'll see how we go. So far I haven't had to deal with them that much, and I'd like to keep it that way. So I'm just connecting the 2 sides of the main space around the skeleton spawner here. So each it all is set up in terms of squares, with the giant hole being the center of the build. So that giant hole is 16 by 16, and so every square around that is 16 by 16. So you've got 8 16 by 16 squares of grass surrounding the giant hole, and then we've got more of the different types of woods around the outside of that. So I'm going 16 blocks away from that middle, from the sort of the dark oak slab is the first, and go 16 blocks in, and that goes all the way around to the top. So that's how far it goes in. So it's like about 4 blocks past the edge of the spawner. So, but it crosses into a couple of different types of wood. But it was annoying me at first, but now I don't mind. It's like this huge, big, weird shape, and eventually it'll just be a big, diorite, rectangular prism in the corner of one of these, of this giant space. And I don't know how, I was thought about decorating it with like some pixel art or something, which I might do if I ever finish the whole thing and see how big the space is, and then I can find an artwork that I can put on it. But at the moment it's sort of, and that might sort of be the limit of the height of it. You know, that'll be the top of the chamber will, you know, be in line with the top of the spawner. But there is another potential spawner on the opposite side where there's like a skeleton spider spawner. But I don't think I really need a spider spawner. But I think that one's a bit higher up, but I could be wrong. Could be a bit lower. If it's a bit lower, that'll be perfect. If it's a bit higher, it just means I might have to extend the roof. And I don't even know how you do if you can do a spider spawner. I don't know how that would even work. So maybe I'll do it, maybe not. So if I got just leveling up a bit here, I think that's done. So yeah, I'm starting to put out the anvil, and so I'm combining bows here, putting the cobble away, making some. So yeah, I've tried to get my farmer to turn, my new villager to turn into a cleric, but it hasn't worked. So I've had to make a couple more beds, a couple more lecterns, and so at least that villager is now totally surrounded by lecterns. So hopefully he'll turn into a cleric, a librarian, which he does eventually. Just takes a little while, and now I've got an extra one. So the new guy's name's Rupert Giles from shout out to Buffy, and I think my next guy, I'm going to try and name him Wesley Wyndham Price, but after the other Watcher. But whether he, I don't know if I've got enough room in the name tag to name him, so he might be Wesley W. Price or Wesley Wyndham P or something like that. So here's me knocking down all the beds, going back, knocking the door down. Pillagers have disappeared. So I don't know where they went, but I figured maybe it was because of the door, because I didn't have the problem with just the beds, but as soon as I put the door in, as soon as I put the door in, the pillagers appeared. So I've knocked down the door. I've just left it open with the torches around it. I could put a gate in there, I guess. I might do that later. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell with that one. Getting near the end of we're into the last chunk. And so this is where I'm like, well, I've finished my storage room. I've put my steps in finally in my spawner. And now I think I get my pillager here. My villager I get to name him. So Rupert Giles is in the house, and he's leveled him up. Got some new enchanted books. So yeah, I've got some lanterns finally. So this is me putting him, when there's a break like that and I'm on the actual thing, it means that I'm writing the data into my little hardcore survival world notes. So I'm trying to catalog all of the different things that they have to trade, so I don't have to keep looking around. So with the librarians, I'm really just looking for the mending. If I can get mending, then I should be set then for armor, especially with the spawner. Don't know how it's going to go with the sword. I think that's the one thing that the mending is going to have trouble with, but we'll see. Breeding some cows. Get some XP. Same old, same old. And so then I just decide, well, I'm going to start moving the enchantment table and the nether portal off the grass, and I'll put them up into this section here. I might even, no, I probably won't move the chicken farm because the pillager guy's trapped underneath it, and it's not really on the grass anyway. It's slightly on there, but not enough to really worry me. And then that's it. So each time around, each time I need a new space, I can just keep moving around the outside of the, the grandstand, so to speak. So that's about all that's happened between the streams, and hopefully I can do a stream tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, yo. And I'll see you all later. Bye.